So we have another client asking about, they wanted to know if you can share a success story where your tax advice really helped the client.
Oh, I mean, I've got a billion of them. Narrow it down for me, Serena. Who should we talk about without
Uh,
using names?
Dentist.
Okay, dentist. I know who you're talking about. So this guy he's a dentist. He was making good money, and by the time he came to us, he owed about $100,000 worth of taxes from the last couple of years. And so we were able to go in and fix some of his old returns and take that 100 down to like 60 or 40, like somewhere there. It's roughly half by fixing the errors that he made on his own tax returns. And then we were able to restructure them and put into place the tax strategies that we talked about before and end up generating refunds from the current year and the following year and ended up able to wipe out the full back tax issue, which was fantastic. And he's super happy. And one of the things that he has told us is it goes back to that emotional weight part. Because so his issue wasn't an audit, he just owed money and he was paying it, he was paying monthly, like 2 or 3 grand a month. So it was a burden and it was just this weight weighing on him. And then we were able to go in and clean it up. And it was a multi-step process because he built up such a problem for himself. And it took 6, 8 months, something like that, to get all the filings done because you got to wait for one to process so that it readjusts all the numbers and you got to do the other one. Because in a situation like that where there's already arrears, then if you don't do it in the right way, that they can assess it to the wrong year. You have to work with the IRS. You got to be patient with them because they take a long time. However, we were able to go through the whole thing and end up wiping it out. And he's told us how he's felt this burden being lifted, and he's able to live his life and work his business more effectively, which is great. Yeah, so that's $100,000 swing. I can tell you the biggest swing that I've personally done is about $6 million. That was a larger company, obviously, but to save them a ton of money on taxes by implementing specific strategies to that industry. We had one of my earliest clients that was just mine rather than when I was working for my old mentor. He had a business. He was in marketing, and he owed 100 and something thousand dollars on a tax on a particular year. He had a good year. And I started going through his tax return and I said, what about this? What about that? What are these things? What are those things? And as it turned out, the previous accountant had just mischaracterized things as personal rather than business. So we were able to file an amendment. And because what it was some credit card charges that he was spending on advertising that the accountant assumed was personal, never checked. And we were able, and advertising is a big part of marketing. So he had an enormous ad spend. And we were able to do a full turnaround between the federal and state. I think it was about $180,000. He ended up getting a refund. So like he owed 100 and something, and then he got a refund of 50, something like that. And that was a great swing. So yeah, tons of stories. The people we see over and over again, as far as they come to us, they're in a certain position, and then after we're done with them, they're way better off all the time, like daily, somewhere in the 20 to $50,000 range. That's stuff we do all the time. The bigger swings do happen depending on the numbers, but as far as like commonplace, yeah. So in that range is all the time.
We're giving clients peace of mind.
Yes, yes. There's kind of three different categories of tax issues. On the one category, people just feel overwhelmed. They've got some outstanding issue already. There's another group of people that they just know that they could be doing better. And the net result of what it is that we do is that we put into place a plan so that you have an expectation of what happens at the end of the year. And I think honestly that's actually the biggest part is that you have a level of comfort with the certainty of what's going to happen. So rather than the anxiety of the unknown, you say, okay, our projection is this, and we refine that over the course of the year. And then at the end of the year, we're usually pretty close, unless something wildly out of whack happens. Um, we had a case last year where a particular client had a huge second quarter, and we talked to them about it and say, okay, should we build our projections based on the second quarter? Or is business going to continue like this? Or is this like a one-time thing? They said, oh, no, this is going to continue. It's going to ramp up, et cetera, et cetera. And that ended up not happening. We made our third quarter and fourth quarter adjustments. We were still too high because we had such a big second quarter. And so they ended up with big refunds. That's not the optimal way to go. We generally want to be in line with projections so that we're pretty close by the end of the year. And that's normally what happens, but weird things do happen in life and in business. So by the end of the year, what you want to be doing is saying, okay, we've planned for X and X has happened. And so I just know that, and I have no surprises. Because when it comes to the tax world, surprises is not what you want. But yeah, removing that anxiety and that burden is the whole thing. Not the whole thing. There's the dollars too, but it's more than the dollars is the emotional relief that people have from having a plan and then coming in line with that plan.